Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. What if I told you that most men unknowingly tolerate behaviors in women that silently erode their confidence, peace of mind, and emotional energy every single day? It's true, small, repeated actions can chip away at your composure, leaving you drained, frustrated, and disconnected from your own purpose. Today, we're going to confront a truth that many avoid. There are certain behaviors that no man who values his time, energy, and self-respect should ever tolerate. These aren't about control, manipulation, or ego. They're about recognizing boundaries, protecting your inner fortress, and living a life of dignity. By the end of this video, you'll not only identify these unacceptable behaviors, but also gain a stoic lens to handle them with calm, strategic clarity. No drama, no emotional chaos. Every point is crafted to empower you to reclaim your peace, command respect, and make conscious choices about who you allow into your life. So stay with me till the very end, because missing even one of these crucial insights could cost you more than you realize: your energy, your focus, and your freedom. Let's dive in. Number 1. Constantly disrespecting your time and boundaries. There is nothing more corrosive to your inner peace than someone constantly disrespecting your time and boundaries. Your time is your life. Every moment you allow to be squandered by someone else is a moment you cannot reclaim. Reminds us, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. If you are living for the convenience of someone else, if you are bending, pausing, or compromising your schedule to suit their whims, you are slowly letting life slip through your fingers. You must understand that respecting your own time is not arrogance, it is self-respect. It is the first, unshakable pillar of control in your life. When a woman repeatedly cancels plans, ignores agreements, or shows up late without care for your schedule, she is signaling, intentionally or not, that your life does not matter as much as hers. And here is the hard truth. If you tolerate this, you are teaching her and yourself that your energy is expendable. You are giving permission for your own focus, your own priorities, and your own mental clarity to be devalued. But you are not powerless. You can draw a line. You can enforce your boundaries without anger, without drama, and without losing your dignity. Seneca wisely said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Take that to heart. Every moment you reclaim for yourself is a moment you invest in becoming the man you were meant to be. Start by auditing your day, your week, your life. Write down the moments where someone else's disregard caused friction, frustration, or fatigue. See clearly where your boundaries have been crossed. Then practice the art of verbalizing them. Calmly, firmly, and without apology, say what you will not accept. It could be as simple as, "I cannot rearrange my entire day last minute," or "I value punctuality, and I expect it from those I allow into my circle." You don't need to convince her. You don't need to beg for understanding. You simply enforce what is yours. Make it non-negotiable, because your time is sacred and your focus is the engine of your life. The discipline of boundary setting is like training a muscle. Start small. Protect your mornings, protect your evenings, protect the blocks of time where your mind is doing its most important work. If she calls during those periods, let it go to voicemail. If she arrives late repeatedly, leave. Calmly, without anger. Because every time you tolerate disrespect, you reinforce the notion that your time is disposable. Every time you enforce it, you reinforce that you are a man who lives deliberately, who guards his energy as if it were gold. Meditate daily on this principle. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control what you accept. Journal your reactions. Ask yourself, am I giving my energy freely, or am I guarding it like the treasure it is? Visualize your day as a series of choices where you allocate your attention to what deserves it. Let Stoicism guide you, reminding you that external behaviors are beyond your control, but your response, your actions, your respect for yourself are entirely within your power. It will not be easy at first. People will push, test, and challenge your newly drawn lines. But every time you uphold them without compromise, you strengthen the invisible fortress around your life. You become unshakable, calm, and respected, not through dominance or force, but through disciplined self-respect. Let this be a practice, a ritual, daily, weekly, monthly. Evaluate who honors your time, who does not, and prune accordingly. Your focus, your growth, and your peace depend on it. Remember, a man who values himself does not bend for repeated disrespect. He stands firm, calmly, deliberately, because his time is a resource no one else can squander. Guard it, protect it, and live fully, intentionally, and unafraid. Number 2, manipulating emotions to control situations. One of the most insidious behaviors you need to recognize and refuse to tolerate is when someone manipulates emotions to control situations. This is subtle, almost invisible if you're not paying attention, but its effect is immediate. Your thoughts get tangled, your energy gets drained, and your clarity gets blurred. Stoicism teaches us to observe our impressions and not let external events dictate our inner peace. Reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That power is yours too, but only if you refuse to hand it over to someone else's emotional games. Manipulation often comes dressed as charm, concern, or even affection. But the truth is, when someone twists feelings to get a reaction, they are testing boundaries, measuring your compliance, and seeking control. You might feel guilt, doubt, or anxiety. These are not random, they are tools. You must learn to identify them as such. Start by asking yourself in the moment, is this my genuine feeling, or am I reacting to a push designed to provoke me? This question alone shifts the power back into your hands. Stop being a participant in a game you never agreed to play. You have to train yourself to see manipulation as just another obstacle, not a reflection of your worth. Practice observing your emotions without immediately reacting. When someone tries to provoke you, breathe, pause, step back. The Stoics called this assent without impulsion, not denying your feelings but choosing not to act on them blindly. You can practice this daily. When tension arises, even in small, everyday interactions, notice the urge to react. Label it. This is a push for control. Then deliberately respond from a place of calm. Over time, this builds an unshakable mental armor. Next, you must reinforce your boundaries. Manipulators thrive on ambiguity. They need gray areas where rules are flexible and reactions are predictable. Don't give them that room. Be clear about what behavior you will accept and what you won't. You don't need to justify your boundaries endlessly. Your peace is reason enough. When a manipulative attempt occurs, state your limits calmly and without drama. Silence can be a powerful tool here. Often, not giving them the reaction they seek is the fastest way to regain control. Another practical exercise is journaling. Each evening, reflect on your interactions and ask, did I allow someone else's emotional tactics to influence me? How did I respond? What can I improve tomorrow? This daily ritual helps you spot patterns, strengthen your discernment, and cultivate a habit of deliberate response rather than automatic reaction. Journaling is like mental weightlifting. It builds the muscles of your inner calm, focus, and resilience. Remember, emotional manipulation is not about logic, it's about power. You cannot argue your way out of it, you can only rise above it. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Each reaction you control, each boundary you assert, each pause you take before acting is like adding stone to that fortress. Eventually, you become untouchable not in arrogance but in serene self-mastery. Seneca wrote, "He is most powerful who has himself in his own power." That's the essence of this fight. You don't need to change them. You don't need to reason with them. You only need to control yourself. Finally, turn this awareness into action. When you recognize manipulation, don't linger. Remove yourself, set your rules, and protect your energy. Daily reflection, mindful breathing, and assertive boundary setting are not just habits, they are your armor. The moment you decide that your peace is non-negotiable, you step into true freedom. You stop reacting, stop giving away your power, and start living deliberately. This is not just self-protection. It is the path to personal mastery, the Stoic way, and the life you deserve. Number 3, publicly humiliating or belittling you. Imagine this. Someone deliberately tries to chip away at your dignity in front of others. They twist words, drop subtle insults, or laugh at your expense, not behind closed doors, but right where everyone can see. This is not harmless banter. This is a deliberate strike at your sense of self, and if you allow it to slide, you are handing them the keys to your mind and your peace. Reminds us, if someone does wrong, it is because of their own nature, not yours. Keep your judgment steady. Your power does not lie in retaliating or proving yourself. Your power lies in choosing what you accept and what you refuse to tolerate. You must understand that public humiliation is more than an ego bruise. It is an attack on your energy, your focus, and your inner equilibrium. A single careless word can derail your concentration if you allow it to. But here's the crucial part. You don't have to internalize it. You don't have to replay it in your head or let it poison your mood. Instead, recognize it for what it is, a reflection of their character, not yours. And when you do that, you reclaim control. You reclaim clarity. You reclaim peace. Action is key here. Do not wait for someone else to realize their behavior is unacceptable. Decide for yourself in that very moment what is permissible in your presence. Take a deep breath, step back, observe without reacting. Stoics call this the ability to maintain a calm mind regardless of external chaos. Practice this. Start small. The next time someone crosses the line, resist the impulse to argue or defend. Instead, say nothing. Hold your composure. You are sending a silent, unshakable message. You cannot be broken, and your dignity is untouchable. You should also prepare your boundaries beforehand. Write them down. Meditate on them. Know exactly where your line is. Public humiliation is only as powerful as the weight you give it. When you have internalized your limits, you act with precision rather than emotion. If someone belittles you, address it privately and calmly later, or remove yourself entirely from the toxic environment. As Seneca says, it is not the man who has too little but the man who craves more that is poor. Do not crave approval from those who seek to degrade you. Their recognition is irrelevant. Your integrity, your peace, your self-respect, that is wealth. Another exercise. Visualize scenarios in advance. Imagine someone humiliating you. See yourself standing tall, unfazed, not allowing their words to penetrate your core. Rehearse a calm response, or better yet, rehearse silence. Make this visualization a daily practice. Over time, your mind builds armor, and public humiliation loses its sting. You will walk into rooms carrying an aura of quiet dominance that cannot be shaken by petty remarks. Finally, recognize the pattern. Humiliation in public is rarely a one-off. It is a tactic to test your limits, to see what you will tolerate. The moment you spot it, act decisively. Withdraw your energy. Protect your presence. No debate, no rationalization, just consistent action that reinforces your boundaries. And reflect each night. Journaling is your ally here. Write down where you were tested, how you responded, and how you will improve tomorrow. Through reflection, repetition, and relentless self-respect, you transform every humiliating encounter into a stepping stone toward inner strength. You deserve respect. You deserve calm. You deserve an unshakable mind. No one has the right to diminish you in public or in private. Guard your energy fiercely. Practice composure relentlessly. And remember, the true measure of a man is not how he fights, but how calmly, wisely, and firmly he refuses to be dragged into the chaos of others. Number 4. refusing to take responsibility for her actions. One of the most dangerous behaviors you can tolerate is someone refusing to take responsibility for her actions. It's subtle at first, often cloaked in excuses or blame shifting, but over time it erodes your peace, drains your energy, and undermines the foundation of any meaningful connection. Reminds us, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This isn't about punishing others, it's about recognizing where your power lies. You can't control her choices, but you can control what you accept. And tolerating deflection, finger-pointing, and evasion is surrendering your authority over your own life. When someone refuses to own their mistakes, it creates a perpetual cycle of frustration and confusion. You find yourself constantly explaining, justifying, and absorbing responsibility for things that should never have been yours. This is not your burden to carry. The Stoics teach us that clarity comes from understanding what is within your control, and her actions, her choices, her failures, they are not within your control. What is within your control is your response, your boundaries, your commitment to integrity. You cannot fix her, but you can refuse to participate in a web of avoidance and denial. You must begin by observing clearly without coloring reality with hope or expectation. Notice the patterns. Notice the excuses. Notice how accountability is constantly deflected onto you, circumstances, or some imagined wrong done to her. And then take deliberate action. Start small. For a week, practice an exercise. Each time she deflects responsibility, pause, take a deep breath. Mentally label it. This is outside my control. Do not justify, do not argue, do not absorb it. Simply acknowledge and redirect your energy toward what you can influence, your mindset, your actions, your values. This simple act rewires your internal responses and protects your peace. Next, commit to stating boundaries clearly. Silence is powerful, but words are necessary when your energy is being drained. Calmly, without anger or judgment, express your expectations. I only engage with accountability. I do not carry the weight of unacknowledged actions. Notice the difference in your posture, your tone, your presence when you speak from a place of measured authority. You are not punishing. You are asserting the Stoic principle of self-mastery. Seneca reminds us, no man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by hope. Do not hope for her transformation. Focus on your own sovereignty. Accountability is non-negotiable. To tolerate the opposite is to invite chaos into your inner life. Here, another exercise. At the end of each day, journal every interaction where responsibility was. Record your feelings, your reactions, and the lessons you drew. Reflect on what you can control tomorrow, your energy, your attention, your choices. Over time, this practice builds an impenetrable mental shield. You begin to recognize where you are complicit in tolerating what is unacceptable. You develop the courage to walk away from repeated patterns without guilt. Ultimately, refusing to accept responsibility is not just about her. It is about your life. Every minute spent excusing, tolerating, or negotiating with someone who won't own her actions is a minute stolen from your growth, your clarity, your freedom. Remember, you are the architect of your inner world. Protect it. Guard it. Refuse to participate in deflection masquerading as conversation. Replace frustration with calm observation, blame with boundaries, and chaos with clarity. This is how a man grounded in Stoicism moves through life, unshaken and unwavering. The practice is daily, the work is deliberate, and the reward is your peace. Number 5, playing mind games or gaslighting. If you've ever felt confused, doubting your own perception, questioning your instincts, or walking on eggshells around someone, you've encountered the subtle but dangerous world of mind games and gaslighting. This is not just emotional manipulation. It is a direct attack on your sense of reality. As reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And the moment you recognize manipulation, you reclaim that power. You see, the Stoics teach us that external chaos is beyond your control, but your judgment, your clarity, your ability to stand firm, that is entirely yours. When someone plays with your mind, they are testing whether you have claimed that internal authority or whether you are still allowing external forces to dictate your emotional state. You cannot tolerate this behavior if your goal is to live a life of dignity and self-mastery. Gaslighting works because it confuses, destabilizes, and wears down your confidence. You start to ask yourself, did I imagine that? Did I overreact? Am I the problem? Stop right there. You are not the problem. A mind that tries to manipulate yours is counting on hesitation and self-doubt. The Stoics teach us to distinguish between what is within our power and what is not. Your power lies in your perception, your reflection, your response. That is your unshakable fortress. Nothing outside, no words, no manipulations, no false accusations, can breach it unless you let them. So how do you reclaim control? First, you need to anchor yourself in clarity. Begin with a daily practice. Spend 10 minutes in stillness, observing your thoughts without judgment. Write down your feelings, your observations, your interactions. When you record what actually happened, you create an external truth that manipulation cannot touch. Gaslighters thrive in uncertainty. They fade when faced with documented clarity. Next, practice asking yourself one simple question whenever doubt creeps in. Is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. If it is, take deliberate action grounded in reason, not reaction. You must also build a habit of boundaries. The Stoics remind us that virtue is the only true good, and it flourishes when we refuse to surrender it. Saying no to manipulation is not anger, it's wisdom. You owe it to yourself to refuse interactions that destabilize your peace. When someone attempts to play mind games, respond not with emotion but with calm, deliberate detachment. Speak only what is necessary, observe without internalizing, and walk away if the manipulation persists. You are allowed to remove energy-draining people from your life without guilt. Protecting your mind is not selfish, it is survival. Finally, practice reflection at the end of each day. Ask yourself, where did I maintain my center? Where did I allow manipulation to creep in? How can I act differently tomorrow? This is not self-blame, it is measured, stoic self-improvement. Each day, strengthen the habit of seeing through illusions, of holding fast to your own perception of reality. When you do this, mind games lose their power entirely. You are capable of unwavering clarity, of calm resolve, of resisting subtle emotional traps. Do not give anyone the power to distort your reality. Stand firm. Journal daily, observe constantly, set boundaries fearlessly. Let the wisdom of the Stoics guide you. External chaos is not your master, your mind is. And once you claim it fully, you will walk through life with the unshakable confidence of a man who knows exactly what he will and will not tolerate. Number 6, excessive jealousy or possessiveness. Excessive jealousy or possessiveness is a behavior that quietly erodes your peace and your freedom. It's subtle at first, almost flattering. She wants all of your attention. She wants to know where you are, who you're talking to, what you're doing. But make no mistake, this is not love. It's a cage, and the bars are made of insecurity disguised as care. As a man walking a path of discipline and self-mastery, your time, your energy, and your mind are your territory. You cannot allow someone else to fence you in with suspicion, to dictate your movements or manipulate your focus. Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That strength begins with clarity. Recognize jealousy for what it is, a toxic attempt to control what is beyond anyone's true power. When jealousy surfaces, it's easy to rationalize it. It's just concern, you might tell yourself, but stop for a moment and reflect. Do you feel your chest tighten every time she questions you? Do you pause before speaking to avoid triggering her doubts? That unease is the warning bell. You must act before it becomes the norm. Your life is not a stage for someone else's insecurities. You deserve partnerships that elevate you, not relationships that restrain you. Start by defining your non-negotiables. Journal them. Write down the behaviors you will no longer tolerate. Clarity in writing crystallizes the line between what you accept and what you refuse to endure. Next, practice detachment, not in coldness but in wisdom. Stoicism teaches you to separate what is yours from what is not. You cannot own another person's emotions, and you should not be punished for another's inability to manage their own. When jealousy rears its head, pause, breathe. Repeat to yourself, "This is not mine to control, only mine to observe." Doing so cultivates inner freedom. It's a small exercise at first, a subtle shift in perspective, but over time it builds the armor of emotional resilience. You are no longer reactive, you are deliberate. It's also time to demand transparency with calm authority. If you sense possessiveness creeping in, address it openly. Speak with a tone that is firm yet composed. Explain what feels controlling and why it is unacceptable. Make it clear that manipulation cloaked as affection will not be tolerated. Stoics believe in honesty as a cornerstone of virtue. Silence in the face of wrongdoing is complicity. You cannot let your peace be held hostage by fear, suspicion, or constant questioning. When you assert your boundaries, you reclaim control over your energy and your focus. Finally, cultivate self-mastery as a daily ritual. Exercise your mind and body. Immerse yourself in tasks that challenge you. When your own life is full and purposeful, there is no room for external pressures to dictate your mood. Reflect each evening on how you handled interactions. Were you calm, composed, and unshaken? If not, adjust. Make meditation, journaling, and mindful stillness part of your daily armor. By doing so, you make it clear to yourself and anyone else that your mind, your attention, and your spirit are not commodities to be controlled. Remember, jealousy is not a test of love, it's a test of your resolve. You are the steward of your mind, the guardian of your energy. Never compromise your clarity for someone else's insecurity. Stand firm, communicate clearly, detach wisely, and cultivate habits that fortify your peace. In the words of Epictetus, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Make mastery of yourself the priority, and everything else falls into place. Protect your mind, protect your life, and refuse to tolerate possessiveness in any form. You owe yourself nothing less. Number 7. Prioritizing social media over real connection. If you find yourself constantly competing with a glowing screen for someone's attention, it's time to pause and take a hard look at what you're tolerating. When someone prioritizes social media over genuine connection, they're sending a clear message. The real you, the person sitting across from them, sharing space and energy, doesn't deserve the same presence they lavish on a feed. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Presence isn't negotiable. It's not a suggestion. If you allow someone to habitually ignore your presence in favor of endless scrolling, you're condoning a lack of respect, a subtle erosion of your energy, and a betrayal of the very essence of meaningful connection. You must recognize that your time, your energy, and your emotional investment are precious commodities. They are not currency to be spent on someone whose attention is divided. You deserve more than passive interaction. You deserve eyes that meet yours, voices that respond with thought, gestures that reflect care. A person who chooses digital distractions over the real world is not just neglecting you. They are choosing avoidance over engagement, convenience over commitment, and momentary dopamine hits over the deeper satisfaction of shared presence. And this isn't just about them. This is about you reclaiming your standards, protecting your peace, and refusing to let subtle disrespect take root in your life. Imagine how it feels to pour your thoughts, your jokes, your ideas into a space, only to be met with silence while attention drifts elsewhere. That isn't affection, it isn't partnership. It's a drain, plain and simple. Here, where you take control. First, set boundaries that demand presence. Decide that during certain times your attention cannot be split. Your conversations, your meals, your shared spaces are sacred. If someone cannot respect that, they are signaling their values do not align with yours. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." If they cannot honor the act of listening, they cannot honor the act of connection. You must observe this pattern with clarity, without emotion, without rationalization. Stoicism teaches us that we can only control our own responses. You cannot force someone to value what you offer, but you can choose not to pour into a vessel that consistently leaks. Next, cultivate a practice of deliberate presence yourself. When you are with someone, or even when you are alone, train your mind to engage fully with the moment. Leave the phone in another room. Sit in silence. Notice the subtleties, the small gestures, the cadence of breath, the texture of the conversation. This strengthens your ability to detect energy that is authentic versus energy that is distracted, and it reinforces your own standards for attention and respect. The more you practice presence, the clearer your vision becomes, and the more you will naturally reject those who cannot meet you there. Finally, act decisively. If the pattern persists, make the choice to step back. You are not punishing them, you are preserving yourself. Emotional detachment is not cruelty, it is self-respect. Replace wasted attention with intentional focus on your own growth, your routines, your passions. Observe the feeling of liberation that comes when you stop chasing attention that isn't offered freely. This is not about control over another. It is mastery over yourself, your energy, and your standards. Refuse to normalize behavior that diminishes your worth. Prioritizing social media over real connection is more than a bad habit. It is a choice, a statement of values, and a reflection of what a person is willing to invest. You can tolerate it, but only if you want your energy to be fragmented and your time to be undervalued. Or you can act. You can reclaim your space, demand presence, and insist that connection, real, unbroken, undistracted connection, is the baseline for anyone who wishes to share your life. The choice is yours. Guard it fiercely. Number 8, being consistently negative or toxic in energy. Being consistently negative or toxic in energy is one of the most draining habits someone can bring into your life. You might not even notice it at first, because negativity often creeps in slowly, like a fog settling over your mind. But over time, it compounds. When someone constantly complains, criticizes, or dwells on the worst in every situation, it chips away at your peace, your focus, and even your ability to act with clarity. Imagine trying to move forward in life while carrying a heavy weight you didn't even ask for. That's exactly what happens when you allow persistent negativity to settle into your space. Stoics remind us, as said, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. The first step here is realizing that their energy doesn't have to be yours. You get to choose what you absorb. You get to decide what deserves your attention. You cannot control how someone else behaves, but you can control what you accept. When negativity is constant, it's not just a mood. It's a force that can dictate your thoughts, your decisions, and the way you see the world. If you catch yourself feeling frustrated, drained, or resentful after interactions, that's a clear signal. Your energy is being siphoned, and it's not just a minor inconvenience. It's a silent thief, eroding your patience and clarity over time. The Stoics teach that our power lies in our ability to respond intentionally, not react unconsciously. So when you notice the drain, act, step back, set boundaries, protect your mind like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Start by observing patterns. Pay attention to the people you interact with and the lingering feelings they leave behind. If you consistently feel weighed down, irritated, or hopeless after conversations, that's not coincidence, it's feedback. Journaling can be powerful here. Each evening, take 10 minutes to reflect. Who pulled at your energy today? How did it make you feel? What can you do differently tomorrow? This isn't about judgment, it's about clarity and self-mastery. By naming the energy thieves, you begin to regain control over your inner life. You start to separate what belongs to you from what belongs to them. Next, practice conscious detachment. This doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means holding your boundaries firmly while remaining centered. You can listen, you can empathize, but you don't have to internalize every negative thought or emotion thrown your way. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You are the gatekeeper. Your energy is yours. No one else gets to dictate it unless you allow them to. Visualize a shield around yourself when engaging with negativity, a mental barrier that lets you interact without being absorbed. Finally, replace the toxic energy around you with habits that elevate your state. Fill your space with things that build you up. Read, reflect, meditate, or exercise. Engage with people and practices that inspire and empower you. Even small actions like stepping outside for a few minutes of quiet or practicing mindful breathing can reset your energy and reinforce your boundaries. Every time you choose calm over chaos, focus over distraction, you are reinforcing your own resilience. Negativity is contagious only if you let it in. Protect your mental and emotional territory. Choose your interactions with care, cultivate energy that serves you, and don't apologize for guarding your peace. Over time, you will notice a shift. You'll move with more calm, think with more clarity, and act with more purpose. Your energy is your most powerful tool. Treat it like it matters because it does. And remember, every time you stand firm against toxicity, you are practicing Stoic mastery in its form. Remember, as Epictetus once said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can control what you accept and how you respond. These 8 behaviors are red flags. Boundaries exist for a reason. Guard your energy, protect your peace, and never compromise on your values. If this video opened your eyes, don't just watch and forget, take action. Reflect on your relationships, identify where you've been tolerating what you shouldn't, and set firm boundaries moving forward. The power is always in your hands. If you found value here, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. And remember, mastery over your life begins the moment you decide what you will and will not tolerate. Stay disciplined, stay calm, and stay unshakable. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius. What if I told you that every decision you make today, what you eat, how you react, even the thoughts you entertain, either strengthens your willpower or slowly erodes it? Most of us drift through life reacting to circumstances, never realizing that our true power lies in mastering ourselves. Imagine waking up each day with the kind of unshakable focus and resilience that makes distractions, temptations, and setbacks almost meaningless. That's not just a dream. It's achievable through simple, daily rituals rooted in Stoic philosophy, practiced for centuries by some of history's most disciplined minds. In this video, I'm going to reveal 9 daily Stoic rituals that build unbreakable willpower, routines you can adopt immediately that shape your mindset, sharpen your self-discipline, and forge a mental armor no challenge can penetrate. Stick around till the very end because the last few rituals are often the most transformative, and missing them means leaving your potential untapped. By the time this video is over, you'll have a clear blueprint for training your mind like a Stoic warrior and facing life with unstoppable strength. Number 1. Morning reflection on your purpose and intentions. Every morning before the chaos of the day sweeps in, you have a golden opportunity to set the tone for your entire life. Morning reflection is not just a ritual, it is the foundation of unbreakable willpower. When you start your day by sitting quietly and asking yourself what truly matters, you give your mind a compass. You ask, what am I aiming for today? What values will I live by, no matter what? Said at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work, as a human being. This isn't about duty alone. It's about aligning every action, every thought, every decision with the person you want to become. You have the power to determine how you respond to the world before the world even begins to demand from you. Imagine for a moment the difference between waking up and letting your day control you versus waking up and controlling your day. When you start with clarity, with purpose, your willpower isn't scattered. You're not constantly reacting, chasing distractions, or bending to the whims of every fleeting impulse. Instead, you carry a quiet, deliberate intention. You know what you will allow into your mind and what you will refuse. You know the moments where you will hold firm, the moments where you will act with restraint, and the moments where you will push forward relentlessly. This is not some abstract idea. It is practice, repeated daily, until it becomes your default state. Here's a practical way to begin. Take 5 minutes each morning, just 5, and write down your purpose for the day. Not vague wishes, but concrete intentions. I will face challenges calmly. I will focus on what I can control. I will act with courage when fear arises. Writing it down forces your brain to solidify these intentions. Reading them aloud reinforces them. Saying them to yourself reminds you that you are in charge. Over time, this ritual doesn't just set your day, it shapes your character. Seneca said, every new day, you should give yourself the opportunity to live a good life. That opportunity begins the moment you open your eyes. Another dimension of this morning reflection is visualization. Picture yourself encountering the obstacles you know will come. Imagine staying composed, making the right choices, speaking with clarity, and refusing to be swayed by frustration or doubt. This mental rehearsal strengthens your willpower because your mind has already walked the path. You are training it to stay steady, to focus, to act in alignment with your principles even when the unexpected strikes. It's like preparing a shield before the storm, so when the storm comes, you stand firm. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude in this morning ritual. Take a moment to recognize what you have, the opportunities, the challenges, the chance to grow. Gratitude doesn't weaken your focus, it sharpens it. It reminds you that your efforts are meaningful, that your discipline is not a burden but a gift. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Start your day with that mindset, and suddenly, obstacles don't feel like attacks. They feel like chances to practice strength. You can make this reflection as short or as long as you need, but the key is consistency. Every day you invest those few quiet minutes in your mind and spirit, you are strengthening the muscle of willpower. You are teaching yourself that your intentions matter more than external chaos, that your day is yours to shape, that your life is not something that happens to you. It is something you craft, moment by moment, choice by choice. Begin each day with purpose, and watch your capacity for discipline, focus, and resilience grow until it becomes unshakable. Number 2, practicing negative visualization. Negative visualization might sound strange at first. Why would anyone want to imagine losing what they have or picture things going wrong on purpose? But this is exactly where Stoic wisdom turns conventional thinking on its head. Said, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you truly grasp the fleeting nature of things, the impermanence of people, possessions, circumstances, you start to see the freedom that comes from preparing your mind for adversity. Negative visualization is not about being pessimistic. It's about training yourself to face life with clarity, resilience, and an unshakable will. It's about creating a mental armor that allows you to act decisively, without fear, when challenges inevitably arrive. Here's the key. When you regularly envision losing something you hold dear, your comfort, your job, even your routines, you start to detach from the illusions of permanence. You realize that happiness isn't dependent on external things. This simple practice changes your perspective. It allows you to savor what you have, yet not cling to it desperately. You begin to see obstacles as natural, expected, and manageable. You stop being controlled by fear and start being guided by reason. Seneca reminds us, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." That's what negative visualization does. It robs fear of its grip before trouble even appears. To integrate this into your daily life, start small. Spend 5 minutes in the morning imagining one thing you might lose today. Picture it clearly. See it disappear, feel the emotions it would stir, but don't dwell in despair. Instead, notice how your mind adjusts. Notice how your body remains steady. Then reflect on what you can control, your reactions, your choices, your intentions. This is where willpower grows. By rehearsing hardship mentally, you strengthen your capacity to face real difficulties without panic. You're exercising your mind like a muscle, making it resilient before it is truly tested. You can also use this practice to fortify your discipline. Imagine the distractions, the temptations, or the comforts that typically pull you off course. Visualize yourself resisting them, feeling the tug, and yet choosing your higher purpose anyway. Negative visualization doesn't just prepare you for loss, it prepares you for mastery over yourself. Over time, you'll notice a quiet confidence building. Challenges won't rattle you as easily. Setbacks won't seem catastrophic. Because you've already encountered them in your mind, you've already developed strategies to respond with calm, measured strength. Another practical exercise is to combine gratitude with negative visualization. As you imagine losing what you have, take a moment to appreciate it fully. Notice how fragile and precious each aspect of your life is. This creates a paradoxical effect. You become more content with what you have while simultaneously becoming less dependent on it. That's the essence of Stoic freedom, the ability to care deeply, yet remain unattached to outcomes. When you live with this mindset daily, your willpower strengthens naturally. You stop being ruled by fleeting desires and external pressures. You become anchored in yourself. The beauty of negative visualization is that it doesn't take much time, yet its effects compound rapidly. Each day you practice, you build a mental resilience that cannot be shaken by fortune, failure, or fear. You start to move through life with a calm, deliberate presence. You begin to act decisively because nothing surprises you. And the more you do this, the more your willpower becomes unbreakable, not through brute force, but through reason, foresight, and the quiet mastery of your own mind. So start today. Close your eyes. Imagine the losses, feel them, release them. Then face the day with renewed strength, knowing that whatever comes, you are ready. Your mind, prepared for adversity, becomes your ultimate weapon. Negative visualization is not just a ritual, it's the forge in which your unbreakable willpower is cast. Number 3, journaling thoughts and daily lessons. Journaling might seem simple, almost trivial at first glance, but in the hands of a Stoic, it becomes a tool of transformation, a mirror reflecting your mind, your habits, and your inner strength. When you take the time each day to write down your thoughts, your observations, your small victories and stumbles, you begin to understand yourself on a level most people never reach. Seneca said, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted?" This isn't just advice, it's a challenge. Journaling forces you to answer it. It makes you accountable to yourself, And that accountability builds a kind of willpower that cannot be taken away because it originates within. When you put pen to paper, you aren't just recording events, you're training your mind. You start to notice patterns, to identify triggers, to recognize when you give in to impulses and when you rise above them. Each entry becomes a small exercise in self-discipline. The more consistent you are, the sharper your awareness becomes. Over time, you begin to see cause and effect not just in your actions, but in your thoughts. You understand which habits sap your energy and which ones feed your strength. And here's the magic. By externalizing your inner life, by seeing it written plainly before you, you gain clarity. You can analyze without judgment, adjust without self-loathing, and grow without the chaos of unexamined emotions. Journaling also solidifies lessons in a way that fleeting reflection cannot. Every day presents challenges, tests of patience, moments where your will is pushed. If you do not record them, they slip away like water through your fingers. But when you journal, you capture those lessons, crystallize them into wisdom, and turn experience into knowledge. You can revisit past entries, see how far you've come, and remind yourself that willpower isn't about perfection. It's about consistent effort day after day. Wrote in his meditations, begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness." Journaling allows you to confront those obstacles with intention, to prepare, to learn, to strategize, not in theory, but in a record that tracks your progress and reinforces your strength. Now, to make journaling effective, you need to do more than scribble thoughts randomly. Ask yourself questions. What did I do today that reflected my principles? Where did I falter? How can I respond better tomorrow? Write honestly without filtering for what sounds impressive. The act itself is what strengthens you, not the polish of your words. You can also set aside a few lines for gratitude, a practice that Stoics understood implicitly, recognizing what is within your control and what is not. Gratitude sharpens perspective, reminding you that life's difficulties are opportunities to exercise patience, courage, and self-restraint. The real power of journaling is in its cumulative effect. One day alone does little, but a week, a month, a year of consistent reflection transforms you. You start seeing the same mistakes before they happen. You notice yourself growing more resilient, more intentional, more deliberate in action. Your willpower becomes unshakable, not because you force it through brute effort, but because you understand yourself, your patterns, your mind. You're no longer at the mercy of impulses, distractions, or fleeting desires. You're guided by insight, by the record of your own journey, by the quiet accumulation of daily victories. So start today. Take a notebook, set aside 10 minutes and write. Pour out your thoughts, analyze your actions, learn from your experiences, and reflect on the lessons of the day. Make it a ritual. Make it a discipline. Journaling is not just recording life. It is forging the very foundation of unbreakable willpower. As you continue, you'll find that your mind becomes sharper, your focus deeper, and your capacity for self-mastery nearly limitless. Number 4. Mindful self-discipline in small actions. You might think that building unbreakable willpower requires grand gestures or heroic feats, but the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Stoicism teaches us that strength is forged in the small, deliberate choices we make every day. Every time you resist an impulse, every time you choose to act with intention rather than react to habit, you're training your mind to be resilient. It's like lifting weights for your soul. Each small act of self-discipline builds your inner muscles, and over time the effect compounds. Reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Start there. Even in the smallest moments, you have the chance to practice mindful self-discipline. The fork you pick up, the words you choose, the attention you give, each is an opportunity to exercise control over yourself. Imagine starting your day with a small ritual. Maybe it's making your bed perfectly, or pausing to breathe before scrolling through your phone. These may seem trivial, almost meaningless, but in reality, they are micro-battles where you assert control over your mind. They are the first dominoes in a chain that eventually leads to unshakable willpower. You're telling yourself that your choices matter, that you are in command, that your actions are intentional, not automatic. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom begins here, in these tiny, conscious decisions that reinforce your authority over your own life. It's important to notice the subtle power of these small actions. When you start controlling the little things, the big things become easier. Choosing patience when someone cuts you off in traffic, resisting the urge to check your phone in the middle of work, pausing before reacting to an annoying email. Each of these moments is practice. Each is a rehearsal for bigger tests of willpower. It's like sharpening a blade on a whetstone. You might not notice the progress immediately, but over time, you'll be cutting through life's challenges with precision and ease. Practicality is key. You can begin with one small act each day. Set a clear intention. Today I will pause before reacting. Today I will finish what I start before moving to the next thing. Today I will choose one moment of discomfort over easy gratification. Then do it. Repeat. Reflect at the end of the day on where you succeeded and notice where you faltered. Don't judge yourself harshly, just observe and recalibrate. This reflection is itself a Stoic exercise, reinforcing awareness and encouraging growth. You're building a habit of vigilance over your own mind, a habit that becomes armor against distraction, laziness, and impulse. Over time, these small acts accumulate. The difference between someone who acts and someone who acts intentionally is staggering. The Stoics knew that character is not built in moments of comfort, but in moments of choice, no matter how minor. And you don't have to wait for a crisis to practice. Every moment is an opportunity. The food you eat, the way you speak to yourself, the discipline you bring to work or study, they all matter. They are the threads in the fabric of your willpower, and each thread strengthens the next. So begin today. Look at the small actions in your life and ask yourself, am I choosing them consciously or am I drifting? Where can I inject mindfulness, patience, and discipline? Start with one small action and then another. Make this practice daily and watch as your willpower becomes unbreakable, not through force but through steady, intentional action. In these small moments, you are forging a mind that no external circumstance can sway, a life rooted in self-mastery, calm, and unstoppable strength. Number 5, contemplating impermanence and mortality. Thinking about impermanence and mortality might feel uncomfortable at first. Most people avoid it. They distract themselves with endless busyness, endless noise, endless scrolling. But Stoicism teaches us that confronting the truth of our limited time is one of the most powerful ways to build unbreakable willpower. Reminded us, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. You see, understanding that every moment is fleeting awakens a sense of urgency and clarity that nothing else can. It sharpens your focus, aligns your priorities, and trains your mind to act decisively rather than drift aimlessly. When you reflect on impermanence, you start noticing the difference between what truly matters and what is trivial. You recognize how little control you have over external events and how much power lies in how you respond to them. You stop wasting energy on things that don't serve your purpose. You stop letting fear of judgment or failure hold you back. You begin to live with intention, and intention fuels willpower. The Stoics call this practice memento. Remember that you will die, not to frighten you, but to liberate you. When you carry this awareness, every choice becomes a conscious one, every action deliberate, every day precious. Start small. Each morning, take a few minutes to remind yourself that life is fleeting. Think about the impermanence of all things, your challenges, your possessions, even your thoughts. Imagine letting go of everything at the end of your day and see how it reshapes your perspective. This isn't morbidity, it's clarity, it's discipline. You are training your mind to value what is lasting and meaningful while releasing what is not. Over time, this strengthens your will because your actions are no longer driven by distraction, by anxiety, or by the superficial approval of others. They are driven by purpose and self-mastery. Another practical exercise is reflection at night. Before bed, review your day with a calm, honest eye. Where did you act with awareness of impermanence? Where did you let trivialities pull you off course? Write it down. Acknowledge your victories and your missteps. This daily ritual builds mental resilience, reinforcing that you are the captain of your mind, regardless of what happens outside. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Contemplating your mortality reminds you not to waste your life in fear, in procrastination, in meaningless conflict. Every conscious moment becomes fuel for your willpower. As you internalize this practice, you'll notice subtle but profound shifts. Decisions that once felt heavy become lighter. Distractions lose their grip. Challenges become opportunities to test your resolve rather than threats to your comfort. Your mind becomes like steel tempered in fire, unyielding, clear, and purposeful. Impermanence teaches patience, detachment, and strength simultaneously. You care less about what you cannot control and focus fiercely on what you can. Your choices, your actions, your character. So embrace this daily ritual. Contemplate impermanence. Reflect on mortality. Let it sharpen your focus and refine your will. Allow yourself to feel the urgency and beauty of the present moment. Build this habit and watch as it transforms your mind. You will act with purpose, resist temptation with greater ease, and face life with an unshakable calm. Each day, you are reminded that your time is finite, so make it count. In this awareness, you will discover a power within yourself that is truly unbreakable. Number 6. Embracing discomfort deliberately. Most people spend their lives running from discomfort. You felt it too, haven't you? That tight knot in your chest when things get hard, the urge to retreat, the temptation to reach for the easy, the familiar, the comfortable. But what if I told you that the path to unbreakable willpower doesn't lie in comfort at all? Stoicism teaches us that strength is forged in fire, not in softness. Reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you deliberately step into discomfort, you aren't punishing yourself. You are training your mind and body to respond with calm, clarity, and courage. Every time you choose difficulty over ease, you strengthen the part of you that doesn't bend under pressure, that doesn't waver when life pushes back. You might feel resistance at first. That's natural. The mind craves security and predictability, but growth comes from the very moments that make you uneasy. Deliberately embracing discomfort doesn't mean reckless suffering. It means choosing small, intentional challenges that stretch your limits. It could be waking up earlier than usual, working on a task you've been avoiding, holding back a reaction in a tense moment, or pushing your body through a difficult workout. These moments are deceptively simple, yet profound. Each one is a deliberate rehearsal for life's bigger challenges, teaching you that you are capable, resilient, and unshakable. Here's an exercise you can start today. Identify one small discomfort and commit to it. Don't overthink it. Just decide to face it fully without complaint, without seeking escape. Pay attention to your mind during this process. Notice the surge of resistance, the whisper of doubt. That's precisely where your willpower lives. Lean into it. Feel it, acknowledge it, then move through it. Over time, these tiny daily acts accumulate into a formidable inner strength. Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." You are training your mind like an athlete trains their body. Each moment of deliberate discomfort is a repetition, a step toward unbreakable willpower. Another way to embrace discomfort is to practice voluntary restraint. Delay gratification intentionally. Skip the easy pleasure and instead choose what challenges you, what builds endurance in your mind and spirit. Feel the tension, notice the discomfort, and let it pass without bending. You are rewiring yourself to thrive in situations that would otherwise overwhelm or derail others. You are teaching yourself that you are bigger than momentary urges, stronger than fleeting impulses, and capable of extraordinary self-control. Remember, embracing discomfort is not about seeking suffering for its own sake. It's about mastering yourself, sharpening your focus, and conditioning your mind to remain steady regardless of circumstance. The more you willingly face discomfort, the less you fear it, and the more your willpower becomes an automatic, unstoppable force. The world will always throw challenges in your path, but if you have practiced discomfort deliberately, those challenges will feel smaller. They will no longer dictate your mood, your choices, or your sense of self-worth. You will be like a rock in a storm, unmoved, unshaken, and unbreakable. So start today. Seek the small challenges, the tiny discomforts, the moments that test you. Meet them head-on. Notice the strength growing quietly inside you with each deliberate act of courage. Over time, this practice becomes a habit, a way of life, a force that no external event can diminish. You are not avoiding life's difficulties. You are using them to forge a mind that cannot be bent, a will that cannot be broken, and a spirit that cannot be shaken. Embrace discomfort deliberately, and watch your willpower rise to heights you never thought possible. Number 7. Practicing gratitude daily. Gratitude is more than just a polite thank you or a fleeting thought before bed. It's a daily exercise, a deliberate turning of your attention toward what is good, what is steady, what you can hold on to in a world that constantly demands more from you. The Stoics knew this, and they understood that willpower isn't built purely in struggle or denial. It's forged in awareness, in the conscious recognition of the small, often overlooked things that keep you grounded. Seneca said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." That simple idea, when practiced daily, can transform your mindset and your inner strength. You have to start with the intention to notice. Every morning before the noise of the day sweeps in, take a moment to breathe, to look around, and to list quietly 3 things you are grateful for. Don't rush it, feel it. Let the sensation of recognition fill your chest. These can be simple: a roof over your head, a breath that feels like freedom, the clarity of your mind this morning. The more consistently you do this, the more your brain rewires itself to focus on abundance rather than lack, on presence rather than distraction. Gratitude isn't about ignoring difficulties or pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing that despite the chaos, you possess resources, strength, and moments of beauty that no external circumstance can take away. Once you've anchored this practice in the morning, carry it through the day. When challenges arise, and they will, pause and ask yourself, what can I appreciate in this moment? Perhaps it's the clarity that comes from facing a tough decision, or the resilience you discover in handling a difficult conversation. Gratitude doesn't diminish the struggle, it enhances your perspective. By training yourself to find even the smallest sparks of value in every situation, you build a mental muscle that strengthens your willpower. Because a mind accustomed to seeing what is available rather than fixating on what is missing resists impulsive reactions. It becomes disciplined, patient, and steadfast. Try writing your gratitude down. Journaling is a powerful Stoic tool. Each evening, reflect on the day. Note the moments where you felt even a flicker of appreciation. Notice the difference between moments where gratitude arose naturally and moments where it was a conscious effort. This reflection is not passive. It's active engagement with your own mind. By documenting, you're reinforcing the habit, making it tangible, and slowly transforming gratitude from a thought into a foundation of your character. Advised, dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. He's reminding you to notice, to immerse yourself in what's present, to let appreciation guide your mindset. The effects are cumulative. Each day of practicing gratitude compounds into greater mental resilience. You become someone who doesn't crumble under stress because you've trained your mind to acknowledge resources, to focus on control where it exists, and to hold the uncontrollable lightly. Gratitude creates a lens through which life's difficulties lose some of their power, and your willpower gains clarity and force. So begin now. Start small, start simple. Take 3 moments each day to recognize, to breathe, to appreciate. Record them, reflect on them, carry them with you. Let gratitude anchor your mind, fortify your choices, and quietly sharpen your will. Over time, you'll realize that willpower isn't just about resisting temptation or enduring hardship. It's about starting each day with a clear view of your strengths, your resources, and the life you already have. Practice gratitude daily, and watch your inner resilience become unbreakable. Number 8, reviewing your actions before sleep. Before you close your eyes at night, there's a powerful ritual waiting to transform your willpower, reviewing your actions. This isn't just a casual glance at what you did or didn't do today. It's a deliberate, intentional reflection, a way to measure your choices against the standard you're building for yourself. Advised, at the end of the day, consider what good you have done and what you have left undone. When you take this time, you're not judging yourself harshly. You're learning, sharpening your self-awareness, and taking control of your own growth. Imagine turning every night into a quiet training ground for resilience, self-mastery, and clarity. That's exactly what this ritual does. Start by slowing down. Sit in a comfortable position, breathe deeply, and mentally walk through the day. Notice the moments when you acted with purpose and when you allowed distractions, impulses, or fears to guide you. Don't just skim over the highlights, dig into the details. Ask yourself, where did I let my emotions take the reins? Where did I stand firm in my principles? Which decisions aligned with the person I want to become, and which ones did? This is the practice of self-honesty, and it's the kind of discipline that forges unbreakable willpower. Seneca once wrote, "Every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness have I overcome today?" That question alone can shift your entire perspective on growth. As you reflect, don't just stop at identifying mistakes or missed opportunities. Take it further, extract lessons. Turn each misstep into a blueprint for improvement. Maybe you reacted too quickly, spoke out of frustration, or procrastinated when focus was needed. Instead of lingering in guilt, ask yourself how you can respond differently tomorrow. Write these lessons down if you can. This is more than a journal, it's a personal map of your evolving character. You are training your mind to recognize patterns, to strengthen the parts of yourself that align with discipline, and to gently correct the parts that don't. The more consistent you are with this practice, the more automatic it becomes. Over time, self-reflection transforms from a nightly exercise into a mental muscle that flexes itself throughout the day. And here's the beauty of it. This ritual cultivates patience with yourself. You learn to separate your actions from your identity. You see that a mistake doesn't make you weak. Failing to learn from it does. You discover the immense power in choosing how to respond, even to the smallest challenges. The quiet scrutiny of your day before sleep teaches you to act with awareness rather than habit, to take ownership of your mind rather than surrender it to distraction, and to hold yourself accountable without harshness or shame. Emphasize that it's not the events of the day that define you, but how you handle them. Reviewing your actions nightly ensures that you are consciously shaping the version of yourself you want to become. To make this ritual practical, Try dedicating just 10 minutes before bed. Close your eyes, breathe, and walk through your day in detail. Mentally replay key moments, identify wins, recognize slips, and extract lessons. Even writing down one insight or one action you'll improve tomorrow compounds over time. This is how small, consistent reflection builds the kind of inner strength that is unshakable. Willpower isn't born from random bursts of effort. It's forged in these quiet, deliberate moments of self-awareness. By reviewing your actions before sleep, you are effectively training your mind, reinforcing discipline and waking up stronger, sharper, and more in control. Number 9. Focusing only on what's within your control. One of the most powerful principles of Stoicism, and one that will transform the way you approach life, is learning to focus only on what's within your control. It sounds simple, almost obvious, but it's revolutionary when applied consistently. So much of human frustration, anxiety, and wasted energy comes from trying to manage things that aren't ours to manage. Other people's opinions, the twists of fate, outcomes that depend on countless variables outside our influence. Epictetus reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The moment you internalize that, the moment you truly start distinguishing between what you can influence and what you cannot, you reclaim a staggering amount of energy. You stop scattering your mind and your efforts on things that are essentially uncontrollable, and suddenly, your focus sharpens like a blade. Think about your day. How often do you dwell on situations that you cannot change? The traffic jam, a snide comment, a decision someone else makes that affects you. You feel the tension building, the frustration rising, and yet all this energy is completely wasted. What if instead you trained yourself to notice these moments, take a step back and ask, is this within my control? If it isn't, you let it go. You shift your energy to what you can control. Your actions, your choices, your effort, your response. This is not passive resignation. It is active, deliberate focus. It is strength. It is freedom. And it is the cornerstone of unbreakable willpower. To build this habit, start with small, intentional exercises. Each morning before you engage with the day, take a few minutes to mentally map out what you can control today and what you cannot. Write it down if you want. Feel the relief that comes from consciously deciding to let go of the rest. Throughout the day, return to this practice. When anxiety, irritation, or disappointment creeps in, pause and identify the source. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If yes, act. If no, release it. Over time, your mind stops wasting energy on the uncontrollable. You become less reactive, more grounded, and more capable of sustained focus. The beauty of this principle is that it works in every area of life. Your career, your relationships, your health, your ambitions. So many of the frustrations you carry are tied to outcomes, to other people's behavior, to chance. By focusing only on your own actions, you stop being a victim of circumstance. You stop being tossed around by forces outside your reach. And paradoxically, the more you center your energy on what you can control, the more influence you gain in the world. People notice calm, consistent effort. They respond to clarity of action and purpose. You can't control their reactions, but you can control how you act, how you show up, how you maintain integrity. That in itself builds respect, influence, and momentum. Another practical exercise is reflection at night. Before bed, review the day and identify moments where you wasted energy on the uncontrollable. Visualize letting those moments go. Then, celebrate moments where you focused solely on what was within your grasp. This reflection reinforces the habit, rewires your attention, and strengthens willpower in a way that feels effortless over time. Captured this perfectly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That power is yours. You don't need to control everything. You only need to control yourself. And in that, you are unstoppable. The more you commit to this practice, the more unshakable your will becomes. You move through life with intention, calm, and clarity. You conserve your energy for what matters, and in doing so, you become a force others can feel, a presence that is steady, disciplined, and resilient. Focus on what you can control, release what you cannot, and watch as your willpower becomes truly unbreakable. As once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Today, you've discovered 9 powerful daily Stoic rituals that can forge unbreakable willpower. But here's the truth. It's not enough to just know them. Real transformation comes when you commit to practicing them every single day. Imagine facing life's challenges with calm, focus, and unwavering self-control. That's the kind of inner strength that Stoicism promises. So take what you've learned today, start small, and watch your willpower grow stronger, day by day. If you're ready to master yourself and live life on your own terms, make these rituals your new daily habit. And remember, your journey toward unshakable strength doesn't end here. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a chance to level up your mind. Your future self will thank you. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that the loudest person in the room isn't always the one in control? In fact, true power, the kind that commands respect without demanding it, often comes from silence. Imagine walking into any room and instantly sensing how people react to you, not because you spoke the most, but because your presence alone exudes authority. Sounds almost unfair, right? But it's entirely achievable. In today's video, we're diving deep into 9 rules for silent dominance, a Stoic strategy that transforms the way you carry yourself, communicate, and influence. These aren't empty tips or superficial tricks. They're rooted in ancient wisdom, tested by some of history's most formidable minds, and designed for anyone who wants to elevate their presence without ever raising their voice. Stick with me till the very end, because missing even one rule could mean leaving a huge part of your potential untapped. By the time this video is over, you'll not only understand the subtle art of silent influence, but also know exactly how to wield it to your advantage every single day. Your next level of presence is waiting. Are you ready to claim it? Number 1, maintain calmness under pressure. When you walk into any room, the energy you carry speaks louder than words ever could. One of the most powerful ways to claim silent dominance is to maintain calmness under pressure. This isn't just about staying quiet. It's about mastering the art of composure when everything inside you wants to erupt or collapse. Imagine yourself like a still lake. No matter how strong the winds howl or how chaotic the world around you gets, your surface remains undisturbed, reflecting clarity and control. You might wonder, how do you actually do that? How do you keep your calm when things spiral, when stress mounts, or when the spotlight is on you? The Stoics knew this well. Once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That strength isn't about controlling what happens around you, it's about controlling your reaction to it. And that's where your true power lies. First, you need to train your mind to pause before reacting. It's so easy to get swept away by emotions, anger, anxiety, frustration. But those emotional explosions rarely serve you. Instead, cultivate a habit of stepping back internally. When you feel the pressure rising, take a deep breath, count to 3, and remind yourself, this moment is temporary. I am bigger than this. This simple pause rewires your brain, giving you space to choose your response rather than reflexively reacting. Second, practice grounding techniques daily. These aren't just emergency tools, they build resilience over time. Try this. Focus your attention on your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel against your skin? When your mind races or the room feels like it's closing in, anchoring yourself in the present moment pulls you out of chaos and into calm. It's a subtle shift, but a game changer. Also, challenge yourself to embrace discomfort rather than avoid it. Silent dominance thrives in those who are not afraid of tense situations or tough conversations. When you welcome pressure as a chance to prove your inner strength, you reprogram your mindset. Pressure becomes not a threat but a proving ground for your mastery over yourself. Remember, calmness is contagious. When you embody stillness, others naturally gravitate toward you, drawn by the magnetic aura of control and confidence. This silent authority doesn't shout for attention, it commands it effortlessly. Now, let's put this into action with a practical exercise. The next time you find yourself in a stressful situation, whether it's a heated discussion, a high-stakes meeting, or any moment of tension, try this. Stop what you're doing. Take a deliberate, deep breath. Ground yourself by noting 3 things you see or hear. Repeat a Stoic mantra silently to yourself like, "I control my mind, not the situation." Proceed calmly, knowing you've taken control. Make this your default response. Over time, calmness will stop being a rare skill and become your natural state, and with it, silent dominance will follow. You're not powerless in the chaos around you. You are the eye of the storm, the calm center others can't help but notice and respect. Own it. Number 2, control your body language. All right, let's talk about something incredibly powerful but often overlooked: your body language. When you walk into a room, your body is talking long before you even say a word. This silent language, how you carry yourself, the way you stand, your gestures, can either give away your inner state or make you the silent force in the room everyone respects. So, if you want to master silent dominance, controlling your body language isn't optional, it's essential. First, recognize this. Your posture sets the stage. Slouching, shrinking yourself, or avoiding eye contact broadcasts uncertainty and invites others to take the lead. On the other hand, standing tall with shoulders back, chin slightly raised, not arrogantly but with calm assurance, signals that you own your space. Once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In that spirit, embody confidence through your very presence. Own the space you're in like it's yours by right. This isn't about ego. It's about aligning your inner strength with your outer appearance. Now think about your movements. Quick, erratic gestures create chaos and anxiety both for you and the people around you. Slow, deliberate motions, however, show control and purpose. Practice moving with intention, whether you're reaching for a glass or simply shifting your weight. This slows down your energy and makes you appear grounded. It's like sending a message. I'm in control here, not rushed, not desperate. Your hands are powerful communicators too. Avoid fidgeting or hiding your hands in pockets. Instead, use open, relaxed gestures. Open palms signal honesty and calm. If you keep your hands visible and steady, it's harder for others to doubt your composure or intentions. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. You control the narrative through your body language, regardless of what others do. Eye contact is another nonverbal tool that demands respect. Not the starring contest kind, but the steady, engaged gaze that shows you're present and unshaken. When you look people in the eye, you say without words, "I see you, I am here, and I am not intimidated." But remember, balance is key. Too much can be aggressive, too little can be weak. Practice holding eye contact just a second longer than feels comfortable. That's where dominance quietly lives. Here's a practical exercise for you. Next time you're in front of a mirror, practice standing exactly how you want to show up. Feel your feet grounded, chest open, shoulders relaxed yet firm. Then try moving your hands slowly, opening your palms and holding your gaze steady. Notice how this feels in your body, calmer, more controlled. That feeling is your silent power. Take it into every room you enter. Start small if you need to. Maybe focus on your posture first. Catch yourself when you slouch and correct it immediately. Then work on your eye contact and hand gestures. This is a habit you build step by step, but each moment you practice, you're reinforcing your silent dominance. Remember, true dominance isn't about shouting or showing off. It's quiet confidence, the kind that Seneca and Epictetus lived by. It's presence without needing to prove anything. You're not trying to overpower others, you're simply owning your space and yourself. Control your body language and you'll control the room. So start now. Stand tall, breathe steady, and move with purpose. Your silent dominance begins there. Number 3, speak with purpose and brevity. All right, let's dive into this. Speak with purpose and brevity. It's a game changer for silent dominance in any room. If you want to command respect and presence without raising your voice or making a scene, this rule is your secret weapon. Imagine this: every word you say matters. No filler, no fluff. When you speak, it's because you choose to. It carries weight, intention, and clarity. You don't babble or fill the silence just to be heard. You own the moment with your words. Why is this so powerful? Because people are naturally drawn to those who communicate clearly and confidently. When you speak with purpose, your words cut through the noise like a sharp arrow. And brevity, that's the ultimate form of respect for your time and theirs. Long-winded speeches lose people. Concise statements, they hold attention and leave a lasting impression. Said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is about more than just truth. It's about intentional speech. Don't waste your breath on what doesn't serve the moment or your goals. Every sentence you utter should be like a tool, precise, efficient, effective. Now, how do you start? First, practice thinking before speaking. Sounds simple, but it's easy to forget. Pause, even if just for a second, and ask yourself, what do I want to communicate here? Why does this matter? What outcome do I want from this exchange? Once you have that clear in your mind, speak. Next, trim your words like a gardener prunes a bonsai. Cut unnecessary parts. Replace, I think that maybe, with I'm certain. Swap in my opinion with a confident assertion. Your goal, say the most with the fewest words. This not only sharpens your message but also shows you're in control. Here's a practical exercise. Before you respond in any conversation today, silently summarize your point in just 1 or 2 sentences. If you can't, you haven't nailed your purpose yet. Keep refining until you can. This trains your mind to be economical and effective with language. Another tip, avoid over-explaining. When you feel the urge to justify every detail, resist. Silent dominance thrives on mystery and confidence. People trust those who don't feel the need to over-defend their statements. Instead, say your piece, then pause. Let your words settle. Let them think. You might worry about coming across as cold or distant, but that's a misconception. Speaking with purpose and brevity is actually a sign of respect. It respects others' time, their ability to understand, and their intelligence. When you speak less but say more, people listen more closely. They lean in. Remember Epictetus's wisdom. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Speaking less and with intention naturally opens space for listening. And listening is a silent form of dominance. When you listen well, you understand more, respond better, and control the flow of any interaction. So here's your call to action. Starting now, commit to this rule. Speak only when you have something valuable to add. Use fewer words but make each one count. Watch how your presence grows, how people lean toward your voice, not because you shout, but because you mean what you say. Silent dominance isn't about volume, it's about impact. And that impact starts with speaking with purpose and brevity. Own that power. Let your words be your quiet strength. Number 4, listen more than you talk. All right, let's dive deep into this. Listen more than you talk. It's deceptively simple advice, but it's a powerhouse rule for owning a room without shouting, without flash, without desperate grabs for attention. Here's the truth: you don't need to fill every silence with your voice to be noticed. In fact, the loudest voices rarely hold the most power. Power lives in presence, in control, and that starts with listening. When you genuinely listen, you tap into something few really master: understanding. And understanding, that's your secret weapon. Said, everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. When you listen more, you're not just hearing words, you're uncovering layers beneath those words, intentions, emotions, truths that others hide or overlook. It gives you clarity, it gives you control, and it shows you're someone who values insight over noise. But why does this matter for silent dominance? Because dominance isn't about overpowering others, it's about commanding respect without saying a word. When you listen, you radiate calm confidence. You show you're not desperate for validation or quick to react. You're thoughtful, you're strategic. Imagine this: in any conversation, most people are busy thinking about their next sentence, itching to get their point across. They're distracted, half present, but you're anchored in the moment. You absorb every nuance. Your silence forces others to fill the gaps, and often they reveal more than they intended. That's where your power grows, quietly, steadily. Here, what I want you to do right now: start practicing active listening. Not the robotic, yeah stuff. I mean truly engaging your mind and senses. When someone talks, pause your internal dialogue. Don't jump to reply or judge. Instead, ask yourself, what are they really saying? What are they not saying? How does this change what I need to do next? Now let's make this practical. Next time you're in a room or a meeting, challenge yourself to talk 30% less than usual. Let others fill the air. Focus entirely on understanding their words. Watch their body language. Notice the subtle shifts in tone or mood. Take mental notes. You might feel uneasy at first, because society conditions us to equate talking with value. But remember Epictetus' wisdom. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Let that sink in. It's not just poetic, it's a blueprint for mastery. Here's a little exercise to train yourself daily. When someone speaks to you, try repeating their main point back in your mind before responding. Don't do it aloud, just mentally. This keeps you grounded in what's truly being said. Over time, this will build your patience and sharpen your ability to discern what matters. Listening more also means you're less reactive. You don't jump at every impulse. Instead, you respond with intention. This shift alone makes people lean in because they sense your calm and measured presence. It's magnetic. So here's your takeaway. Next time you want to command a room, start by quieting yourself. Let your ears lead your mind. Show the room that you don't need to shout to be heard. Because real strength, it's often found in the silence between words. Start today. Listen more than you talk. Watch how the room bends subtly to your quiet will. Number 5, avoid seeking approval or validation. Listen when you're in any room, whether it's a meeting, a social gathering, or even just a casual conversation. Nothing undercuts your presence more than looking like you need someone's approval. It's a subtle but powerful signal that you're dependent on external validation, and that dependency weakens your hold on your own power. You don't want that, not even a little. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus taught that we shouldn't be slaves to what others think because their opinions are outside our control. Focus instead on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your mindset. When you stop chasing approval, you free yourself. You reclaim your energy. You become the silent force in the room that others feel before they even realize it. But I get it, this isn't easy. Human nature is wired to crave belonging and acceptance. That's why this rule isn't just about knowing better. It's about retraining your instincts. You need a strategy, some daily work. Here's your first exercise. Start small and notice. When you speak, ask yourself, am I saying this to express myself or to get a reaction? Is the aim to share value or to hear applause? Just notice that impulse. Awareness is your first weapon. Then practice holding back the urge to fill silence or to over-explain yourself. Silence is your ally here. It's okay if the room doesn't immediately shower you with nods or smiles. In fact, when you resist the urge to seek validation, you become magnetic. People sense your calm confidence, and your words carry more weight because they're not desperate or needy. Said, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. When you root your actions in your own inner compass, independent of others' approval, your dominance becomes quiet but unshakable. Here's a second exercise for you. Set a daily intention to act without approval. It could be something as simple as voicing your opinion in a group chat without waiting to see if it gets likes, or deciding on a course of action at work without polling everyone for permission. This practice rewires your brain away from needing constant external validation. And remember, avoiding approval isn't about becoming cold or detached. It's about being internally grounded. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. The stormy seas of others, opinions crash around you, but your light shines steady because it comes from inside, not from the waves that try to sway it. A practical tip: when you feel the pull for approval, breathe. Take 3 deep breaths. Remind yourself, I do not need permission to exist fully. This pause will create space to choose your response, not react out of habit. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift. Your presence will speak volumes without shouting. You won't need to fill the room with noise or gestures. People will listen because you're anchored in yourself, not in their fleeting opinions. So start today. Catch that impulse to seek validation, call it out, and refuse to feed it. Build your silent dominance by standing firm in your own truth. You don't need a crowd's cheer to know you're enough. That's the power the Stoics want you to harness. Own your space, own your mind, and watch how the world responds to the quiet strength that can't be shaken. Number 6. Project confidence through eye contact. Look, eye contact isn't just about looking someone in the eyes. It's about sending a message without speaking, a signal that says, I'm here, I'm aware, I'm in control. When you meet someone's gaze and hold it steadily, you claim your space. You tell them, silently but clearly, you're not to be overlooked or dismissed. You might think it's simple or even trivial, but it's anything but. Eye contact is the bridge between you and others. It shapes how they perceive you, strong, steady, unshakable. It shows you're anchored in the moment, unbothered by distractions or doubts. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free." And part of that freedom is the bravery to face another's gaze without flinching. When you avoid eye contact, you give away your power. Your fear becomes visible. But when you hold their eyes, you take back control, no words needed. So how do you project this kind of confidence through your eyes? Start by practicing presence. In conversations, don't dart your eyes around like you're looking for an escape route. Instead, settle into the moment. Look steadily, but don't stare aggressively. It's a balance, a calm, assured gaze that invites respect. Try this exercise. The next time you talk to someone, hold their eyes for a count of 3 full seconds. Yes, 3 seconds might feel like forever at first, but that's the point. It forces you out of your comfort zone and into a space of boldness. Over time, this becomes natural. Here's another. Practice maintaining eye contact with yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the eyes without breaking away. This isn't about vanity. It's about cultivating inner courage, the kind of courage that reflects outwardly. You learn to be okay with your own gaze, which in turn makes it easier to hold others. Remember, eye contact is not about intimidation, it's about connection through strength. It says, I am grounded, I am here, I will not be ignored. It's silent dominance in its form. Taught us to control what is within us and remain unshaken by what is not. Eye contact is a tool to practice exactly that. When you hold your gaze, you train yourself to stay composed under pressure and to command attention without uttering a word. But don't just do it mechanically. Combine your eye contact with relaxed breathing and a calm face. The power comes not from forcing, but from being genuinely present and unafraid. That's the kind of energy that moves a room. Here's a quick daily habit you can start. For 5 minutes each day, practice eye contact drills, whether with people or even strangers in passing. Hold their eyes with steady calm, smile lightly, and watch how they respond. The more you do this, the more your silent dominance grows. So what are you waiting for? Step into your power. Don't let fear or distraction pull your gaze away. Project that quiet confidence through your eyes. Become the person who commands attention by simply being. The room will notice. You will own it without saying a word. Number 7, use silence as a powerful tool. Imagine this, a room full of noise, chatter, and the constant buzz of opinions flying around. Amid this whirlwind, you remain calm, composed, and quiet. That's silence. It's not empty, it's charged, it's potent, it's a signal. When you master silence, you don't just blend in, you dominate the room. Here's the truth. Silence is one of the most underrated tools in your arsenal. The Stoics, masters of inner strength and control, knew this well. Once said, "Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence." Silence speaks volumes when your words don't need to fill every gap. It signals confidence, self-control, and a depth others rarely possess. Why does silence work so well? Because it unsettles the noise. It draws attention without demanding it. When you don't rush to fill every pause, you give others space to think, to wonder, and often to reveal more than they intended. Your quietness creates a magnetic pull, forcing others to lean in, listen carefully, and respect your presence. But silence is not just about not speaking. It's about choosing when to speak and what to say with precision. It's about holding your ground internally while the chaos swirls around you externally. You become a calm harbor in a storm, and people instinctively gravitate toward that. Hear how you can start using silence as your silent dominance strategy today. Practice pausing. Next time you're in conversation, don't be afraid to pause before answering. Let the silence hang for a moment. This brief pause can make your words hit harder and give you time to collect your thoughts. It's like drawing a bow before releasing an arrow, purposeful and impactful. Resist the urge to over-explain. When you speak, be clear and concise. Don't feel pressured to fill space with filler words or unnecessary details. Say what matters and stop. This economy of speech makes your words powerful and respected. Embrace quiet confidence. Know that you don't have to be loud or flashy to lead. True strength comes from within. When you are silent yet present, you're showing that you don't need approval or validation. This self-assurance is magnetic. Use silence to listen deeply. When you stay silent, you open yourself to truly hear others. Listening is a form of power. It gives you insights, control, and the ability to respond wisely. As Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Control your inner dialogue. Silence also means mastering the noise inside your head. Cultivate mindfulness and keep your thoughts steady. When your mind is calm, your silence becomes a fortress rather than a void. Adopting silence is not about withdrawal or passivity. It's an active, strategic choice to project strength without shouting. It demands patience and courage because the world often equates volume with power, but you know better. You're stepping into the realm of quiet mastery. So starting today, begin to lean into silence. Next time you enter a room, don't rush to fill the air. Let your quiet presence speak for itself. Watch how the energy shifts. Feel how people naturally turn toward you. This is silent dominance in action. Remember, it's not about making noise, it's about making an impact. Your silence, used wisely, is your greatest power. Number 8, stay aware of your surroundings. If you want to master silent dominance, it starts with something deceptively simple, staying aware of your surroundings. But this isn't about just glancing around or checking your phone every now and then. It's about cultivating a sharp, calm awareness that keeps you rooted in the present moment, ready to move with purpose and confidence. When you enter any room, the energy shifts. People are sending out subtle signals, body language, tone of voice, even the tempo of their breathing. These cues tell stories if you pay attention. The more you attune yourself to these details, the more you understand the invisible currents flowing through the space. And understanding those currents, that's power. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." That's the essence here. When you're fully present, you're not caught in distraction or caught off guard. Instead, you're anchored. Your awareness becomes your silent shield, protecting you from manipulation, surprises, or even wasted energy on things that don't serve your goal of quiet command. This kind of awareness is a muscle you build. Start by observing small things. When you walk into a room, note the arrangement of people. Who seems confident? Who's nervous? Who's trying to stand out and who's quietly watching? You don't need to label or judge, just notice. This awareness feeds your intuition and lets you adjust your posture, your tone, your presence accordingly. Try this exercise. Next time you enter a space, take a deep breath, then scan the room slowly with your eyes without rushing. Identify 1 or 2 subtle things you hadn't noticed before. Maybe a person's crossed arms, a smile that doesn't quite reach the eyes, or a cluster of people talking quietly in a corner. Hold that image in your mind. This simple practice sharpens your mental radar and roots you firmly in the moment. Remember, awareness isn't just about observing others. It's also about tuning into yourself. How are you feeling? What thoughts are swirling inside? Are you tense, relaxed, alert, or distracted? Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Being aware of your internal state lets you adjust and stay grounded instead of reacting impulsively. When you harness this kind of presence, your very silence speaks volumes. People notice because you aren't hurried or scattered. You command respect without shouting or forcing it. Your calm observation creates an invisible field that pulls others in. You become the person others instinctively look to, even without you saying a word. So here's your call to action. Start practicing awareness like it's your daily meditation. Before entering a room, pause, take stock of the environment. Once inside, keep your senses open, not overwhelmed but curious and calm. Track your own energy and breathe deeply to stay centered. This habit builds silent dominance, an unshakable confidence that radiates from steady awareness. To seal this in, remind yourself daily, I am present, I am aware, I am steady. These words are your mental armor against distraction and anxiety. Master this, and you'll discover how effortless it is to own any space you enter, not with noise, but with silent, unshakable presence. Number 9, act with unwavering self-discipline. All right, let's dive deep into what it means to act with unwavering self-discipline, because that's the silent power move that sets you apart in any room, no matter the chaos around you. You see, self-discipline isn't just about forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. It's about mastering yourself so thoroughly that your mind, body, and actions align perfectly with your goals and values. It's that quiet strength, a calm fortress of control that others instinctively recognize. Nailed it when he said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is your starting line. When you act with unwavering self-discipline, you don't get tossed by every little distraction or emotional wave. You don't react impulsively or lose your cool when things get tense. Instead, you maintain a steady course, projecting a magnetic confidence. That steady, deliberate behavior commands respect far louder than words ever could. Now I want you to imagine this. What if every time you entered a room, people felt your presence because you carried an air of absolute control over yourself? Not control over them, but control over you. That's the essence of silent dominance. You become a quiet force that influences, not by shouting, but by simply being. This comes from self-discipline, the habit of regulating your thoughts and actions, no matter the circumstances. Here's the challenge. Self-discipline is a muscle. It's not something you have or don't have, it's something you build daily. And the good news, every single moment you resist temptation, choose focus over distraction, or speak after thinking, you're strengthening that muscle. Start with small, manageable exercises. For instance, practice delayed gratification. When you feel an urge, whether it's to check your phone, interrupt, or react emotionally, pause. Count to 10. This tiny pause rewires your brain to act with intention, not impulse. Set micro goals. Break your daily tasks into bite-sized chunks and commit to completing each one without giving in to procrastination or distraction. These little victories add up. Mind your speech. Train yourself to speak deliberately. Think before you talk. Your words carry weight when they're measured and purposeful. This isn't just about external behavior either. It's about cultivating your inner landscape. Meditate on Epictetus's advice. No man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom here isn't about physical space, but about the freedom to choose how you respond to anything. When you act with unwavering self-discipline, you aren't just controlling your actions, you're shaping your destiny. People around you feel it. It's that silent, invisible aura of mastery. They see someone who doesn't crumble under pressure, who doesn't chase validation, and who doesn't waste energy on what's outside their control. So here's your call to action. Starting right now, take ownership of your impulses. Catch yourself when your mind wanders or your emotions threaten to hijack your calm. Train yourself to return, again and again, to your purpose. Self-discipline is your foundation for silent dominance. It's the secret handshake of the quietly powerful. When you cultivate it, you're not just surviving the room, you're quietly owning it. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about persistence. One disciplined choice at a time, you build that unwavering strength. And before you know it, the room shifts because you shift. Now that you've discovered these 9 powerful rules for silent dominance, it's time to step into your own strength. Remember, true power doesn't shout, it moves with calm confidence and unwavering presence. As said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So go ahead and practice these rules daily. Watch how your presence shifts the energy in any room. Silent dominance isn't about control over others. It's about mastery over yourself. If you found value in this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because your journey to mastery is just beginning. Stay sharp, stay silent, and keep dominating with grace. Until next time, keep your power quiet but your impact loud. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. What if I told you that the very first hour of your day has the power to shape not just your mood, but your focus, your decisions, and even your destiny? Imagine starting each morning with clarity, resilience, and unstoppable momentum every single day. Sounds powerful, right? Yet, most people stumble out of bed, distracted, reactive, and already a step behind before the day even begins. In this video, I'm going to reveal 9 Stoic rules that will transform your mornings from chaotic to unbreakable. These aren't just tips. You're about to learn time-tested practices that Stoic philosophers themselves would swear by. From mastering your mindset to structuring your environment, each rule is designed to turn you into the kind of person who commands their day, rather than being commanded by it. Stick with me till the very end, because these rules build on one another. Missing even one means missing out on the full power of a morning routine that sets you up for success, resilience, and unstoppable energy. By the time this video is over, you'll not only know what to do, you'll be ready to live it every morning. Number 1, wake up with purpose, not habit. The alarm rings. You stretch, blink a few times, and before you know it, you're out of bed on autopilot. Sound familiar? Most mornings are lived like this, a chain reaction of habit, never intention. But the Stoics teach us something radically different. The first act of your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Reminds us, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Imagine living every morning with that awareness. Imagine waking not because your body is conditioned, but because your soul is ready. Waking with purpose means you are consciously choosing the life you want to create, not merely responding to the rhythm of a clock. It's a declaration. Today matters. I matter. Every morning becomes a small act of sovereignty over your own mind. You don't stumble through the motions. You step into them with awareness. You decide what energy you bring to your day before the world has a chance to shape it. So how do you make this shift from habit to purpose? Start by asking yourself, why am I waking up? Not in some vague, philosophical way, but with brutal clarity. Are you rising to check emails and scroll feeds? Or are you rising to cultivate your mind, body, and character? The Stoics urge us to define our intention before the day sweeps us away. You might spend a moment in silent reflection, setting a clear purpose for your actions. Even a simple mantra works. I rise to grow, to act, to live well. Let these words anchor you before your feet hit the floor. Another powerful exercise is visualization. Take 30 seconds as you wake to imagine the day ahead. Picture yourself navigating challenges with calm, executing tasks with focus, responding to others with patience and clarity. By visualizing your day, you prime your mind to act with purpose rather than react blindly. It's not wishful thinking, it's preemptive training for excellence. Waking with purpose also requires shedding distractions that hijack your attention. Don't let your first moments be consumed by the noise of the world. Silence, stillness, and intention are your allies. A few deep breaths, a stretch, or journaling for a few minutes can create a fortress around your mind, protecting your clarity until your morning routine solidifies your strength. Remember, every day is a new opportunity. As Seneca says, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Don't waste your mornings. Own them. Rise with awareness. Choose purpose over habit. This is how unbreakable mornings are born, not from routine alone, but from intentional action. Your day will follow the lead of your first conscious choice, so make that choice powerful, deliberate, and distinctly yours. Your alarm is ringing. Will you wake with purpose, or will you drift through habit? Number 2, start with silence or meditation. Imagine waking up and immediately diving into the chaos of notifications, to-do lists, and endless mental chatter. That's a recipe for a scattered, reactive day. Instead, what if you began your mornings with intentional silence? Even a few minutes of quiet can transform the way you show up in the world. As reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Starting with silence allows you to reclaim that power right from the first moment of your day. You don't need a complicated routine. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and simply focus on your breathing. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. Let thoughts drift in and out without clinging to them. This isn't about emptying your mind completely. It's about creating a space where clarity and calm take root. You're telling your brain, today I lead. Not my impulses, not my distractions. Meditation doesn't have to be long either. Even 5 minutes can reset your mental state, sharpen your focus, and anchor your intentions. You can expand this by practicing a short reflection. Ask yourself, what is within my control today? What is not? Stoics thrived on this kind of morning self-inquiry because it set the tone for purposeful action instead of reaction. Over time, these few quiet minutes grow into a fortress of resilience. You start your day grounded, less swayed by stress, and more aligned with your values. Turn off the noise, breathe deeply, and meet the morning on your terms. Make silence your secret weapon. It's simple, free, and profoundly powerful. Start tomorrow. Sit, breathe, own your morning. Number 3, reflect on the day ahead and your duties. Take a moment right at the start of your morning to pause and look straight at the day ahead. This isn't about rigid planning or overthinking. It's about reflection, clarity, and setting your mind on what truly matters. Ask yourself, what am I responsible for today? What can I control and what must I accept? Reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Let those words sink in as you center yourself. Visualize your day as a series of small but meaningful actions. Think of each task, meeting, or challenge as an opportunity to act with intention rather than reaction. Identify your duties, not as obligations that weigh you down, but as your chosen instruments to craft a purposeful life. You are not a leaf drifting in the wind. You are the captain steering your ship. Write down, even if only briefly, the 3 most important things you want to accomplish. Not 10. Not a vague do better, just 3. This keeps your focus sharp, your mind calm, and your energy undivided. Then consider potential obstacles. What might test your patience, distract you, or push you off course? Anticipate them calmly, not with fear, but with readiness. Epictetus would call this the premeditation of troubles. By seeing them clearly in your mind, you strip them of power. Finally, take a deep breath and commit. Commit to showing up, fully present for whatever today brings. Let this reflection be your anchor. Each morning, repeat this ritual. It's your shield against chaos, your way to step into the day with purpose, and your personal Stoic training ground. This small daily habit shapes resilience, sharpens focus, and makes you unshakable. Number 4, practice gratitude immediately. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, don't reach for your phone. Don't dive straight into the chaos of notifications, emails, or news feeds. Instead, pause, take a breath. Ground yourself in the simplicity of being alive. This is your chance to start your day with intention, not reaction. Gratitude is the first act of self-mastery, and Stoics knew this well. As Epictetus reminds us, he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. So start small. Notice 3 things you are grateful for right now. They can be as vast as the air filling your lungs or as simple as the roof over your head. Write them down if you can. It cements the feeling. Let the warmth of acknowledgement sink in. When you practice gratitude immediately, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You take control of your internal world before the external world starts tugging at you. Turn this into a ritual. Each morning, speak your gratitude aloud, even if just to yourself. Feel it ripple through your body. Let it settle in your chest. Then watch as your perspective changes. Challenges become smaller, irritations lose their sting, and clarity emerges. Gratitude is not just polite, it's strategic. It primes you for focus, resilience, and calm action. If you commit to this one habit, every morning becomes an anchor. Your day no longer begins with external noise, it begins with your own steady mind. You set the tone. You choose how you respond. You, right here, right now, hold the power to start your day unshakable. Make it a habit. Guard it. Honor it. And notice how the world shifts when you do. Number 5, visualize challenges and prepare your mind. One of the most powerful tools you can wield in the morning is your imagination. Your mind is your training ground. Before you even step out of bed, take a moment to visualize the challenges the day might throw at you. Picture yourself encountering them, not just the smooth moments, but the disruptions, the frustrations, the unexpected annoyances. See them clearly, feel them, and imagine yourself responding with calm, deliberate control. This isn't about pessimism, it's about preparing your mind so that you're not. Reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. By foreseeing obstacles, you turn potential setbacks into rehearsed victories. Start small. Spend 5 minutes each morning running through a mental checklist of situations that could test you. Imagine someone cutting you off in traffic, a project going sideways, or a conversation that could trigger irritation. Then rehearse your stoic response: patience, clarity, focus. Feel the resilience growing inside you. Over time, this simple exercise sharpens your mind like a blade. You'll notice that when challenges actually arrive, they hit softer. They bounce off your prepared mind instead of knocking you down. Pair visualization with intention setting. After seeing potential challenges, consciously decide how you want to act in each scenario. This is not daydreaming, it's active mental conditioning. Journaling a few lines about these rehearsed responses can cement them further, making your mind a fortress before the day even begins. You hold more power over your day than you realize. Visualizing challenges doesn't just prepare you, it builds unshakable confidence, reduces reactive stress, and gives you a clear, steady compass to navigate whatever arises. Practice it consistently and watch how your mornings and your entire day transform. Number 6, prioritize what you can control. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. If you start by obsessing over what's beyond your power, traffic, other people's moods, unexpected setbacks, you're handing your energy away before breakfast. Instead, anchor yourself in what you can control. As Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Every morning is a chance to practice this truth. Begin with the small, deliberate choices that are yours alone. How you rise, the way you breathe, the thoughts you entertain, the tasks you commit to, these are yours. Make a list of 3 things you can influence before the world even wakes up. Maybe it's your posture, a cold shower, a journaling ritual, or a quick session of focused movement. Own these. Own your morning. Notice how liberating it feels when you release the need to control outcomes. You stop spinning in circles worrying about what might happen. You channel your energy into actions that actually move the needle. The Stoics didn't ignore challenges. They simply refused to waste effort on the uncontrollable. You can do the same. Try this exercise. Every morning, pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself, what is mine to manage right now? Let your answers guide your routine. If your mind drifts toward what's outside your control, gently bring it back. Over time, this simple practice strengthens focus, reduces anxiety, and builds a sense of mastery over your day. Your morning is your laboratory. Experiment with control. Reclaim your energy. Prioritize the doable. When you do, you won't just survive your mornings, you'll own them. And owning your mornings is the first step to owning your life. Number 7, Exercise the body to strengthen the mind. Exercise the body to strengthen the mind. It sounds simple, but it's profoundly transformative. The Stoics understood that the mind and body are inseparable. Didn't just reflect on virtue from a chair. He trained his body, knowing that discipline in one realm spills over into the other. When you move, when you push your muscles and test your limits, your mind learns resilience. It becomes sharper, calmer, less prone to distraction. Start your morning with intentional motion. It doesn't have to be hours in the gym. Even 10 minutes of stretching, a brisk walk, or a few sets of exercises wakes up your system and primes your mind for clarity. Feel the blood moving. Notice how your thoughts sharpen as your heart rate rises. This is Stoic training in action, preparing for life's unpredictability by cultivating control over yourself. Try combining your physical routine with mental focus. As you lift, squat, or stretch, pay attention to your breath. Notice the tension in your body, the rhythm of your movements. This is mindfulness through motion, a simple, effective exercise in presence and self-mastery. Remember Epictetus' words, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Your morning exercise is the first arena where you assert that mastery. Make it non-negotiable. Protect this time. Treat it like an offering to yourself, a daily commitment to your own strength and clarity. Over time, you'll notice a change, not just in your endurance, your flexibility, or your posture, but in your mental resilience. Challenges that once overwhelmed you will now meet a calmer, steadier mind. So rise, move, breathe, and push yourself. Build your body, and in doing so, fortify your mind. Let each morning be a rehearsal for the unshakable day ahead. Number 8, avoid distractions and external noise early. Avoiding distractions and external noise in the morning isn't just about silence. It's about reclaiming control over the very start of your day. Imagine this. The first hour after you wake up sets the tone for everything that follows. If you let your attention scatter to notifications, social media, or the chatter of the world, you're handing your energy and your focus over to forces outside yourself. And as reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You need to create a protective bubble around your morning. This means no phones, no emails, no early news headlines. Even small distractions, like background noise from a TV or music, can erode the clarity you're building. Instead, lean into stillness. Start with deep breaths. Feel your body waking up. Let your mind stretch into the day ahead without interference. The quiet itself becomes a tool for mental sharpening. Here's a practical exercise. For the first 30-60 minutes after waking, commit to a no-distraction window. Silence your devices, close the doors, and engage only with practices that center you, breathing, journaling, stretching, or reflection. Notice how even a single hour of undisturbed attention transforms your mindset. You're not just avoiding noise, you're actively sculpting your inner calm. Another tip: if external noise is unavoidable, consider gentle soundscapes that enhance focus, like the rhythm of nature or soft instrumental tones. The goal isn't total isolation, it's selective focus. You're choosing what enters your mind, just as a Stoic chooses which thoughts deserve his attention. By guarding these early hours, you're not just protecting time, you're fortifying your mind. You're laying the foundation for a day where your energy, intention, and decisions flow from you, not from the chaos around you. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your mornings transform into unshakable anchors of clarity. Number 9, set clear intentions for action and virtue. One of the most powerful things you can do each morning is to set clear intentions, not just for what you want to get done, but for who you want to be. Don't just go through the motions, decide in advance how you will act with virtue today. Reminds us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. You can take that to heart right as you open your eyes. Before reaching for your phone, pause, take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what would a person of integrity, patience, and courage do today? Then commit to it. Write it down if you like. Seeing it on paper anchors your mind. Start small but specific. Maybe your intention is to respond to challenges without anger or to approach every task with focus and care. The key is clarity. A vague goal like "be better today" is easy to forget. A precise intention "I will speak calmly in every difficult conversation" gives your mind a target. Repeat it silently. Let it guide the first steps you take out of bed. Turn this into a daily ritual. Spend a minute each morning reflecting on your core virtues. Picture your day and the choices ahead. Imagine moments when you might be tested and pre-decide your response. This mental rehearsal isn't daydreaming, it's training your inner compass. You're programming your mind to recognize the path of virtue, even when distraction, stress, or emotion try to pull you away. By starting each day with this intentional focus, you transform mornings into a for character and action. You're no longer drifting through your day, you're steering it. Your intentions become the invisible force that shapes not just what you do, but who you are. And that, ultimately, is the Stoic way to rise unbreakable every single morning. And there you have it, 9 Stoic rules to supercharge your mornings and build an unbreakable routine. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency, reflection, and showing up for yourself every single day. Start small, start now, and let these practices guide you toward a calmer, sharper, and more resilient version of you. If you found value in this, hit that like button, subscribe for more daily Stoic wisdom, and drop a comment sharing which rule you're going to adopt first. Your mornings and your life will never be the same. Stay disciplined, stay intentional, and as the Stoics would remind us, control what you can, accept what you can't, and own your day.